What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video we're going to talk about the differences, what is better to stack between American Silver Eagles and Canadian Silver Maple Leafs. Let's do it! Thank you so much for watching my video. I sincerely appreciate it. This is going to be an awesome one. This is a topic I've been wanting to cover for a very long time. It's Eagles versus Maples. And as you can see, we have 9 different things we're going to go over, which one would be better for each of those 9. And I do have to say before we start that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just another dude on YouTube, and these are my opinions. But let's get into the differences between the American Silver Eagle and the Canadian Silver Maple Leaf. So let's show the two here. These are both 2018s, and they're very awesome. One thing that's the same about them is they both contain 1 troy ounce of silver. So they're each an ounce of silver, and they're each coins. They're each backed by their government. So this one obviously is backed by United States of America. This one's backed by Canada. And we're going to talk about all the differences. Those are the main things we're concerned about when we're looking at which one's better to buy, which one is better to stack. So let's get into all of these here. First thing I do want to bring up is there is a size difference between the two. The American Silver Eagle is a little bit wider. It's actually 40.6 millimeters, so these fit in the 40 millimeter capsules, and then the Canadian Silver Maple Leaf is only 30, it's just a hair under 38 millimeters, so these fit in the 38 millimeter capsules. So you can see if I put it on top, the Canadian Maple Leaf's a little bit smaller, but it is wider. So what it makes up for in height, it adds in width, okay? And the other difference in size is that if you're buying tubes, mint tubes, the Eagles are tubes of 20, the Maples are tubes of 25. So if you get a monster box of Eagles, it's going to have 25 tubes of 20. Monster box of Maples is going to have 20 tubes of 25. So another slight difference there in the size, but that doesn't really matter when we're stacking. I mean, I personally don't care. And so I don't think really anyone out there cares. That's just a difference I wanted to bring up between the two. So for size, that's going to be a wash, okay? Neither one is going to actually get the win on size. Okay. This is one thing that everyone talks about when comparing the two, and that's denomination. Okay, so what is the government backing it for? So the Eagles, let's look here at the bottom, $1, okay? American Silver Eagles all have a denomination of $1. This is currency, it's legal tender. We can spend this for $1 here in America. And the Canadian Silver Maple Leafs are backed for $5. You can see that at the bottom there, $5. And these are Canadian dollars. The difference is, it's like 1.35 right now is the ratio. So this is worth about $3.70 in US dollars. And this is $1 US. If we're talking how much does the government back it for? So here's the argument that people always bring up when they talk about maples. They say, the Canadian Maple Leaf is backed for $5. The American Silver Eagle is only backed for $1. And they say that makes the maple superior. But here's the thing. You're never actually going to cash it in for that value. That doesn't matter at all. And I'm going to actually prove that to you here in a sec. But so people always will say, well, because it's $5, it's worth more. It's not. They're both an ounce of silver. They're both worth what an ounce of silver is worth, because that's much more than $5 or $1. So in fact, the only thing that matters is that it is backed by the sovereign nation making it a coin. It doesn't matter. I mean, the American Silver Eagle could be a nickel, and it would still have the same value as being backed by $1. And here's how I'm going to prove that to you. I've got one of these here. These are super cool. You can see my American flag shirt in the reflection, how shiny these are. But this is one of the America the Beautiful coins. Okay, and this is from the U.S. Mint, and it's 5 ounces of silver. It does have a hefty premium, but check out the other side here. $0.25. This is a quarter, okay? So this is only backed by our government for a quarter. So each ounce of silver is backed for 5 cents, and this still has a heavy premium. It's still bought and sold for the silver content. So it's every ounce of silver in here is backed by a nickel, so it doesn't matter. Okay, the Eagles are backed for $1, but they could be backed for a nickel. It doesn't matter. These are backed for by $5, but they could be backed for $1. It doesn't matter. So either way, they're worth the value of the silver. If silver ever did go down to $5, again, that's 370 American. So it'd have to go down to 370 American for this to be worth more in the face value than the actual precious metals. The 1 ounce of silver that's in there. If that ever did happen, well, the demand for silver is so high that the mines would shut down. You know, they're not making any money, but there'd still be this crazy demand because we need almost all the silver in the world goes to China for industry. And so the price of silver would actually go up. So I don't think silver could ever go below 370 American to make this more valuable for face value. So I'm going to say denomination doesn't matter. That's a wash, okay? So American Silver Eagles, Canadian Silver Maple Leafs. When we're talking stacking one or the other, size doesn't matter, denomination doesn't matter. Okay, here's another thing people always bring up between the two. They'll say purity. So the American Silver Eagle, it is 1 ounce of fine silver. You can see that at the bottom, fine silver. This is 3/9 fine silver, 99.9%. It's actually 99.93% silver. The Canadian Silver Maple Leaf is 4/9. Okay, you can see that, 99.99. So it's refined more than the American Silver Eagle. And a lot of people will say, well, because it's refined more, it must have more silver in it. No, they each have an ounce of silver. That's a misconception. In fact, this one, it's 99.93% silver, 0.07% copper, so you could actually make the argument that this has a little bit of free copper in it compared to this one. But however, people will say, okay, well, for industry, we need 4/9 fine silver, so these are going to be more valuable. Well, why are you stacking silver? Are you stacking it as a hedge against inflation? Or are you stacking silver because you want to start your own electronics company and melt down the coins and make your own cell phones or whatever? You know, none of us are stacking silver for that reason. So why do you care about the 4/9 fine silver? I will say that it is better for medical uses. So if you were a colloidal silver enthusiast and you want to actually run electricity through your silver coin and then drink that water, okay, for like, let's say it's the end of the world and you can't find antibiotics or whatever, you know, okay, 4/9 fine silver is better for making colloidal silver. I'll give you that. So I guess there is one reason why purity might matter, however small it is. So we'll give maples the win on purity, okay? Maybe that matters to some people. It is more pure than the American Silver Eagle. However, the industry standard for silver bullion is just 3/9 fine, and they're both at least that. So, okay, let's move on to anti-counterfeit. It's really talking about anti-counterfeiting technology into the coins. So let's start off with the Canadian Maple Leaf. And actually, I have got a little pamphlet here somewhere. Here it is. I got this at my local coin shop. The most secure bullion coins in the world. Okay, so let's see. This is put out by Royal Canadian Mint. Let's see what they're bragging here. So they say it's got the radial line finish. It's 99.99% pure. I don't know why that makes it more secure. And it has the laser mark micro engraving with Bullion DNA anti-counterfeiting technology. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that this little stamp here and these radial lines make this harder to counterfeit. And I think that probably is true. I mean, they're obviously bragging about it. You can see in one of these all the little radial lines coming out, and then there's the little micro engraving. I will say that those came out in 2014, so if you have any Canadian Silver Maple Leafs that are 2013 and older, they won't have the radial lines or the little privy mark, I guess you could call it. This little guy there at the bottom. So 2013s and older won't have that. The newer ones all do have that. Is this the best anti-counterfeiting technology on the market? I don't think it is. It probably is for coins, but I know Sunshine Mint has the blacklight technology in their rounds, which is really cool, and bars. So I think that probably tops this. But let's talk about the Eagle. What sort of anti-counterfeiting stuff does the Eagle have? It doesn't have any. Okay, so American Silver Eagles, they don't have the radial lines. They don't have the little micro engraving mark. They don't have the blacklight feature. The only thing they really have is this, United States of America. Okay, it's backed by United States of America, and it is very, very trusted. But I mean, they do make counterfeits of these. I'm not saying they don't make counterfeits of maples as well, but this is probably counterfeited more. And I don't know if that's because of the technology or whatnot. But absolutely, the maples do win in that category. So we'll give them the check mark for anti-counterfeit. Okay. So it seems like the maples are doing pretty well. Let's move on. I think, we're already 10 minutes in. So let's try and blast through these. Mintage and recognition. This isn't even a contest. The only data I was able to find on the maples was from 1988 to 2013. And the mintage was right around 150 million. The mintage on the Eagles from their inception to 2013 was around 350. Okay, so way more Eagles have been minted. And if you want to say, oh, well, they've been around longer, yeah, they have been around 2 years longer. But in the first 2 years, they only made 18 million Eagles. So, you know, even if you take that away, you're looking at like 330 million Eagles for one, and then 150 of the maples. So we still have way over double the mintage size on Eagles. So mintage, which also leads to recognition, that's no contest. That's going to be the Eagle all day long. Okay, now let's talk about quality. This is one thing that is very important to a lot of people. The Canadian Royal Canadian Mint is actually really well known for their bad quality up until last year. So this one here, I'm not sure what the year is on this. It's a 2017. So this was the last year of the milk bowl leaves. I don't know. They're all milk spotted pretty much. So you can see bad milk spot here on this side, really bad milk spotting up here. It's funny. People almost joke that that was an anti-counterfeiting technology that they had. They're all well known for their milk spots. I mean, that was just a horrible problem they were having. So pretty much all Canadian silver maple leafs that were 2017 and older will have those ugly milk spots. In 2018, they added the mint shield technology, and this one looks really good so far on both sides. I'm not seeing any milk spotting at all. So hopefully their new technology will be good and they won't milk spot in the future. So it'll be good quality bullion. And then for the Eagles, they're actually really well known for their great quality. Some of them will milk spot a little bit, but for the most part, they look really good. I mean, this is a 2012 here, and no milk spotting. This side, no milk spotting. I mean, it's got some fingerprints from me touching it, but still really, really great quality. So anyway, as far as quality goes, you know, that's to be determined. Are the new mint shield technology, it's basically in the finishing process of the coins are doing something different. So hopefully those aren't going to milk spot. But they've had such a bad track record. And when you're stacking, a lot of times you can't stack only the newer stuff. You'll buy like random dates or whatever, so you might get a lot of older maples. So I think for quality, for right now, I'm going to definitely give it to the Eagles. We'll see what happens in the future. If you're watching this video in like 2023 or something, you know, maybe the maples have turned it around by then. So, you know, maybe we can say the quality would be a wash. Okay, let's get to liquidity. Liquidity is sort of subjective based on where you live. I would say if you live in Canada, these are probably more liquid. You're probably going to be able to buy and sell Canadian maple leafs no problem in Canada. I don't see why you'd have any issues picking them up. Pretty much everyone carries them up there, and selling them, pretty much everyone wants them. But you know, other than Canada, in America, that is the case as well for the most part. I mean, if I brought a whole monster box of maples into my coin shop, would they buy them? I'm not sure. You know, I don't know if they'd be able to sell them all. I don't know if they give me, you know, the standard price for a whole box. I don't know. I do know for Eagles, they'd have no problem handling them and buying and selling them. So, you know, Eagles, being the fact that they are the most minted and most recognized silver bullion coin in the world, pretty much translates to them being the most liquid. I would say worldwide, they're definitely more liquid than the maple. So just based on, America, they're more liquid. The rest of the world, they're probably more liquid. So other than Canada, I would say they're definitely more liquid. Just easier to buy and sell. More people will have them. There's obviously more around, and they're more recognized. So for liquidity, that goes to the Eagle all day. Like I said, unless you live in Canada. So if you live in Canada, maybe that'll shift the scale towards the maples a little bit more for you. Okay, let's get to beauty. So, okay, the maples, you can see I have them on the maple leaf side because this side is gorgeous. This is not the obverse though. This is the obverse, and this is the reverse. So let's look at the reverse of the two coins and just compare them here. The American Silver Eagle has the eagle. It looks beautiful. It's got the shield. This is gorgeous to me. But the maple is also gorgeous. This is beautiful. I mean, I'd have a really hard time picking a favorite. If I wasn't American and proud to be American, patriotic and stuff, then I might lean more towards the maple leaf. They're both gorgeous. The finish is a little bit different on them. This is more of a matte. This is a little bit more shiny. It's kind of hard to tell when they're in the capsules, but you can see it's just a better reflection. You can see like my shirt reflecting a little bit more in the maple, and you can't really see that in the eagle. So if that is a factor for you as far as beauty goes, then that's something to consider. But then when we turn over to this side, the obverse, it's no contest, right? I mean, look at the eagle, just gorgeous. It's got Lady Liberty. She's got the flag around her shoulders, the sunset in the background, and then the maple leaf, you got the queen. I think it's no contest on the obverse. The eagle wins. On the reverse, they're about the same, but I definitely lean towards the eagle more. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I'd say, obviously I'm making the video. For me, I'm going to say eagles all day are more beautiful. So if that's a factor for what you're stacking, then there you go. And then the last thing is price. This is the biggest thing people probably talk about when they're trying to decide if they want to stack eagles or maples. And price is actually really no contest. So the maple leaves are cheaper. They're cheaper than the eagles. So generally speaking, the maple leafs, you can buy them around $2 over spot. Okay, sometimes they're a little cheaper, sometimes they might be a little bit more. It just depends. But generally speaking, they're about $2 over spot. The eagles, generally speaking, are about $3 over spot. So, I know you can get them on sale. I've bought them way cheaper than that, but that's about what their price is most of the time. So, and that's pretty much understood all throughout America and whatnot. And I think probably in the rest of the world too, maples are about $1 cheaper than the eagles. So they are cheaper. So when you're stacking silver, a lot of people just want to buy stuff at the lowest price they can. They say, well, the maple leaf is a coin. It's 1 ounce of silver. I can get it cheaper than the eagle. I'm going to go maples. One thing I think you should factor in though is when you're selling them, how much of a premium do you get back? So on the eagles, I get $1 premium back. On the maples, I get 40 cents. So it narrows it a little bit, okay? So my eagles, if I bought them and sold them that day, it'd be a net loss of $2. The maples, if I bought them and sold them that day, it'd be a net loss of $1.60. So still doing a little bit better on the maples. So as far as price goes, I would say absolutely the maples do win on price. So if you're strictly looking at price for why you're stacking, then the maples are the winner. So I think I've covered pretty much everything I could as far as the two different bullion coins. If there's anything I missed, definitely leave a comment below. But just looking back, sort of as a recap, size doesn't matter. They're both an ounce of silver. That's what matters. Denomination, right? What's the face value? That doesn't matter. Some people will still say, oh, the maple leaf is $5 and the eagle's $1, and that's fine. You can say that till you're red in the face. It's not going to mean anything to me. Unless they make the maples like $20 for an ounce of silver, then you might be talking, right? But again, that's still Canadian, not US dollars. Purity, the Eagles do, or sorry, the Maples do win because they are more pure. Anti-counterfeit technology, the Maples do win. The Eagles have none. Mintage and recognition, the Eagles win. Quality, Eagles. Liquidity, Eagles. Beauty, Eagles. And then price, the Maples are actually the winner. So, at the end of the video, you still are really sort of torn between the two, right? I mean, I'm stacking Eagles. They're my strategy. I hope I could bring up some good points. And maybe if you're, heavy into the Eagles, I could bring up some stuff with the Maples that you weren't aware of. And if you're really into the Maples, maybe I could bring up some stuff about the Eagles that you weren't aware of. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm just trying to do, is get a conversation going. So definitely, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And I do want to say a big thank you to everyone for watching the video. So thank you all so much. I'll see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.